One, two, three. Three count four.
Hello, I am BeBetterGamer. Welcome to BeBetterGamer Wrestling, the channel dedicated to wrestling video games, fueled by my love and passion for them. I am playing WWF No Mercy. I am bringing you another CAW, WWF No Mercy Create a Wrestler, and I am bringing you the Dynamite Kid. This is a throwback. This is old school. Dynamite Kid. Raise your hand if you were alive when the Dynamite Kid was actively wrestling. I was, although I didn't start watching him until I was about 5 years old. So he was already wrestling for quite a few years for them. But I'm bringing you 4 different attires for the Dynamite Kid. This is sort of a follow-up of my tag team championship Let's Play, where I play as the British Bulldog. So check that out. There's a little, you can press the little I or check my No Mercy playlist. And as always, the profile, moves, fighting style, parameters, all that stuff is going to be in the description below. Just click on that Google Docs link. But let's get right into the call first. So I gave a medium 1 body type, first skin tone, head male 3, it's a little short head, face male 51. He's got kind of like a mean look. He was a very intense individual. Hair short 2, front hair 25. There's a lot of different front hairs you can choose. Basically what you're looking for is a little bit of that like U-shaped curve, you know, part or whatever in the hair. I don't even know what to call it. Ring attire King 1. You have to unlock Jerry the King Lawler. Very easy to do. Once you get Jerry the King Lawler's tights, you give it dark blue for the top part and then white for the long part. And then wrist pads 1, nothing, you know, special there. Knee pads 1, dark blue. Now the boots, I went back and forth between 2 different types of boots, so I decided to split it up in the different call, in the different costumes for this call. So the first boots I go with is boots 05, but see, you can also go with boots 19. They had these really cool multicolored boots that were supposed to represent, you know, the British flag. So like one part was split blue and one was red, but then they also had white in the boots. Now you can't really do 3 different colors on the boots in WWF No Mercy, so you can switch it up. See, I'm showing you can do blue white, you can do red white, and then they always had like these socks that came out of their boots. So that's why I went with these first boots, because here you could just do the red boots and then the blue socks, which is pretty close to what they used to wear. You know, if you squint hard enough, it looks like it. That's my rule for making a good call. If you squint hard enough and it looks like the call, you're doing a good job. So you choose whichever boots you want. Here it's just an alternate color for their attire, which is similar to what they wore. You know, they always had the flag on the back of their tights, you know, right on the butt area. But obviously you can't do that here. And again, I'm showing you the different colors of what it looks like with the other boots, but those boots I chose white and blue. Here I went with those boots because they fit, I think, these costumes a little bit better. They look a little bit nicer, a little bit cleaner. And you just give them regular long tights here and give them a navy blue color. Navy blue was kind of Dynamite Kid's color in some of his other outfits when he would wrestle as a singles wrestler. Maybe when I make him in Virtual Pro Wrestling 2, I'll do some of those outfits. But then you switch the knee pads to black. And then the boots here again, you can give them the blue boots there. You can even give them the blue boots with the socks, but I think the long boots work better for that single outfit. And this is based off of his WrestleMania appearance, WrestleMania 3 appearance. The last one was WrestleMania 2, and then the first 2 were like just a sort of general British Bulldogs attire. But this is the black and white with the knee pads and the red. And again, you can go with either red or blue. It works perfectly fine. You know, there's no real like this is how you have to make this call, you know what I mean, like all the other calls I do. And then even here I'm going back to show you, you can also do long red tights and then the red knee pads with the red boots. That looks good too, and also similar to what he used to wear when he would wear just the straight plain red tights. So there's a lot of different ways you can go about with Dynamite Kid. A pretty simple classic looking attire. And again, there's no right way or wrong way. You can change the tights, and you can change the boots however you want to do it. I'm just showing you different options. You can change the face, you can change the front hair, whatever you think works well for you. I'm just kind of doing this as a base to get you started. I hope you like it. Let me know what you think. That's pretty much it. That's the call. I always follow up with my created wrestlers with a match, so I'm gonna jump into that in a second. But yeah, let me know what you think. Shoot me pictures on Twitter that you've made it, or any adjustments that you made. Leave in the comments. Make sure you check the description for I have all the moves typed out. So fun little thing I did to make my life a little bit easier, because creating the moves can take the longest time sometimes. I basically copied Chris Benoit's moveset and I put it onto Dynamite Kid just to make it easier. He doesn't have exactly Chris Benoit's moveset, but there's a lot of stuff that Chris Benoit did that Dynamite Kid did. There's my AJ Styles call from previous, and I'm showing you. I'm gonna choose the first outfit. I'm gonna go with the first outfit, and then I'm bringing in Macho Man Randy Savage, because they had a match that you can find on the WWE Network. They had a match way back in the day, part of this wrestling tournament, and I decided to bring in Macho Man because I wanted to bring back one of my other calls that I made. I'm playing this on my EverDrive, so everything's fresh, everything's new. I recently lost all my WWF No Mercy data on my cartridge, so I was like, you know what, let me bring one of the calls that I actually had on my memory card. And I thought it was very fitting to have Macho Man, because Dynamite Kid, just like this match, is a lot of what could have been, and I talk about this a lot in my tag team championship let's play, so go watch that to get a little bit more detail. But for me, he was one of the first wrestlers I fell in love with that had this extremely tragic story. And that's not why I fell in love with him. I fell in love with Dynamite Kid because of the British Bulldogs, which is why I did the tag team championship let's play. But there's a lot of what could have been surrounding Dynamite Kid. There's a lot of wrestlers and athletes you think about in that sense. And it's kind of sad at the end of the day, everything that's happened. If Dynamite Kid made better choices, if maybe he was coming up in a different time, and also a different time of wrestling, guys his size at that time were not seen as main event level. And that match between him and Macho Man, this is a short match, it's like 5 minutes long, but you can just look at it and you're like, man, imagine this match 8 years later, you know what I mean? Or maybe less time than that, 5 years later, and imagine a match for the world championship, the WWE championship between these two guys. It's things like that we never got because of timing, because of place, because of the way wrestling was back in the day. So that's why I wanted to do this match, because it makes me wrestling video games. That's why I love wrestling video games, because it's an outlet to do those what if scenarios, those what could have been. You can fantasy book to your heart's content in wrestling video games. You can have Dynamite Kid, you can make Dynamite Kid and then have him team up with Chris Benoit. You can make Dynamite Kid and have him team up with the British Bulldog all over again, which is why I did the tag team championship let's play. And I mentioned Chris Benoit earlier, that I just basically took the moves because Chris Benoit was heavily influenced by Dynamite Kid and copied a lot of what he did. And it wasn't just moves, it was his physicality, his appearance, his intensity, his technique, a lot of those things. When I first started getting into Chris Benoit, and he was talking a lot about Dynamite Kid being his influence, at that time I was only really familiar with Dynamite Kid as part of the British Bulldogs. So that's what allowed me to explore a lot of Dynamite Kid's solo career outside of the tag team. And I changed a lot of the moves obviously to fit Dynamite Kid. You see there, you had him do the falling headbutt. I did give him the regular diving headbutt as his front, as his main turnbuckle flying move, and then I gave him the Benoit falling headbutt as the special move, just to switch it up. There's no real difference except for the animation. I think the Benoit headbutt might actually be a little bit stronger, and then here for his front special, I gave him the Tombstone Pile Driver. He also has the, regular spinning pile driver, and I did that for two reasons. One is because the Tombstone Pile Driver is very devastating, and that was one of his signature moves, was the Tombstone Pile Driver. He would do different variations of it. Sometimes he'd do a tilt-a-whirl, sometimes he'd do sort of a jumping one. But I gave it also as one of his regular strong moves, basically as different setups. So in there, I give him a big headbutt. I don't believe Benoit has the headbutt in his move set. Again, I made a lot of adjustments to make sure it felt like Dynamite Kid. You know, but if you want to just make it your life easier, just copy Chris Benoit and then just make the adjustments that I made in my move template. But also, when I'm playing as Dynamite Kid, I always like to follow up the pile driver with the headbutt, and I don't always want to wait for my special to activate. So that's why I gave him both options. Um, you know, he's got the snap suplex, obviously. He's got the big running clothesline. Yeah, he's got a lot of his signature moves, his fisherman suplex that he would do. I gave him the superplex. I gave him a top rope brain buster, I believe. There's his regular brain buster. You know, even there you can do the brain buster followed up by the flying headbutt. You know, he was a true innovator. There's the tilt-a-whirl pile driver. This is great. So do the tilt-a-whirl pile driver, and Macho Man is done for, right? Nope. He moves out the way, rolls away from the headbutt. Oh man, it's, you know, and again, you know, it's a lot. You can do a lot of similarities too between Macho Man and Dynamite Kid. So I guess, you know, Macho Man was kind of seen as an undersized guy too, right? Which is crazy to think about at that time, but he really was. And Macho Man sort of floated between that heavyweight style and a little bit of a high flying. I mean, we all remember Macho Man from his elbow, but I guess Macho Man had that personality and charisma that Dynamite Kid was lacking. But I talk about a lot of Dynamite Kid and my love for Dynamite Kid and the British Bulldogs in my tag team championship Let's Play. So go check that out if you're interested. Otherwise, you know, have fun making this call. Let me know what you think about it. Again, any changes, any adjustments you made for your own version of it is always fun to see. And yeah, let me know if you remember Dynamite Kid, if you're a fan of Dynamite. We're so far removed when he was wrestling that I kind of wonder if his name is still floated around today with a lot of people who didn't grow up watching the British Bulldogs or Dynamite Kid like I did. So yeah, let me know if you watching this, if you have any memories of Dynamite Kid or the British Bulldogs, and that'll be interesting to hear. So there you go, that's my Dynamite Kid call. Check out my other No Mercy calls, check out my No Mercy Let's Plays. I also have calls for WrestleMania 2000 and Virtual Pro Wrestling 2, the other great Aki and 64 wrestling games. So you know what to do. You've been on YouTube before. Like, comment, and subscribe. I'm BeBetterGamer. Thank you for watching. As always, till next time, keep watching all the wrestling.